Okay, are you feeling heavy, overloaded, or just completely overwhelmed right now? Well, jump right in with us because in this explainer, we're unpacking a practical, no-fluff framework to reset your mind and regain your clarity. We're going to look at exactly how to cut through the massive noise of the modern world and get back to building what actually matters to you. It's a completely free tool, and the concepts we're exploring today are honestly absolute game changers for anyone who feels like they're just spinning their wheels.
So, why does so many of us feel chronically stuck? The source material describes a very specific type of exhaustion. It's not just about being physically tired at the end of the day, it's about feeling mentally heavy. If you're a first-generation builder, maybe a faith-driven entrepreneur, or just someone carrying everybody else's expectations on your shoulders, you probably know that heavy feeling of drifting, right? Even though you have this deep underlying motivation, you know you're meant for more, but just the thought of figuring out that next step, it just leaves you frozen.
All right, let's dive right into this powerful, free tool by Ortiz Jr. It's designed specifically to help you cut through all those modern distractions and rebuild your focus from the inside out. Now, this isn't some 100-page philosophical textbook that you're going to abandon after Chapter 2, and it's definitely not some overly complicated course. It's a direct, honest, 7-day framework built by a creator for creators. It's designed to strip away the excess and help you actually hear your own voice again.
Because here's the thing, the biggest enemy of building something meaningful isn't actually failure. It's the unrelenting digital and mental noise that causes us to lose our own voice and just freeze up. Think about it. We consume endless, uninvited inputs every single day. We're talking social media highlights totally stripped of real-world struggle, contradictory opinions from total strangers, and hourly news alerts. And the cost of all this consumption? Clarity quietly disappears. We end up scrolling instead of writing. We plan endlessly instead of just executing. And that brings us to a brilliant point. Discipline cannot grow in chaos. You simply cannot force new habits if your mind is completely overstimulated. Internal order has to come first. So many people try to force discipline backwards. They try waking up at 4 a.m. or doing these insane 90-minute morning routines while their mental environment is just completely chaotic. As Ortiz Jr. points out, confidence and focus cannot take root in the middle of constant interruption. You literally have to clear the brush before you can plant the seed. Now, the core philosophy here is identity before discipline. What that means is when your daily choices match who you're actually becoming, the effort feels like alignment rather than punishment. Instead of waking up and asking, what should I do today? The framework challenges you to ask, who am I becoming this year? An identity anchor is a short, present-tense declaration of that person. It's not about pretending, it's about choosing your direction so clearly that your habits just naturally follow suit.
The 7-day framework.
So, the beauty of this system is really its pacing. You don't try to tackle all this at once. You start on day 1 by simply silencing the noise. You identify 3 sources of mental clutter and set a strict boundary so you can actually create space to think. You just can't fill a cup that's already overflowing, right? Your task here is to pinpoint exactly what's crowding your mind. Maybe it's a specific social media app, endless news feeds, or even a toxic relationship. And you create a boundary. You mute it, limit it, unfollow it. You create the silence necessary for clarity to finally enter.
Then, moving on to day 2, it challenges you to take a completely honest, non-judgmental inventory of your life. Ask yourself what you're avoiding and what lies you might be telling yourself. This is where things get very real. You aren't looking at where you wish you were. You're looking at where you actually stand right now. What's one habit draining your energy? What's one area of life you're totally ignoring? You just write it down. No guilt attached, just raw, unfiltered honesty.
By the time you hit day 3, it is time to rebuild your decision-making muscle. You do this by forcing yourself to make small, everyday choices in 60 seconds or less. This actually trains your brain to stop overthinking and start acting. When we're overwhelmed, even deciding what to eat for lunch can feel like moving a mountain. By practicing rapid decision-making on low-stakes items, like what shirt to wear or what task to tackle first, you break that paralysis of analysis and get your momentum flowing again. Day 4 is all about projecting clarity. You physically imagine your life 5 years from now if you change absolutely nothing, versus the future you could build if you start taking action today. This is such a profound exercise. It's not meant to make you feel bad, okay? It's meant to contrast the pain of staying exactly where you are against the massive potential of making a change. It shows you precisely what you are working toward.
And then,
Day 5 is where you release the guilt. You physically write yourself a permission slip to fail, to start small, and to build something that only you can build. So much of our hesitation comes from waiting for society or our families or our peers to tell us it's okay to pursue our vision. This framework flips that entirely. You literally write down, I give myself permission to, and you fill in the blank. You own it and you sign it.
Next up, day 6 shifts you into action. But wait, not a massive, exhausting leap. Just a tiny 1% shift toward your goals. Something like writing one single sentence. Because small consistency compounds into extraordinary lives. It's about writing one paragraph, sending one email, or doing one push-up. The framework highlights that consistency really isn't about dramatic efforts. It's the quiet, unbreakable habit of showing up, even when it's just 1%.
Finally, on day 7, you celebrate and commit by writing down one defining sentence that captures your new North Star. This aligns everything you do moving forward. You've cleared the noise, gotten honest, and taken action. Now you lock it in. This sentence becomes your filter for the future. I am building a legacy through my work, or I am creating income doing what I love. Whatever it is for you, you write it down, say it out loud, and let it guide you.
Because remember, motivation is not the point. Showing up is the point. This framework reinforces the long game, reminding us that real success is just hundreds of small, aligned decisions made on completely ordinary days. We obsess over feeling motivated, but the truth is, motivation is like the weather. It changes constantly. Consistency, on the other hand, is the climate. The people who build incredible things don't have endless motivation. They just have a quiet commitment not to betray the person they are becoming. They show up, especially on the days they really don't feel like it.
Now, Ortiz Engineer has authored an entire library of transformational books for builders, and this Clarity Reset is your perfect entry point into a life of genuine discipline. Operating under the OrtizHub brand, his work span everything from self-discipline to health to the creator's path. The 7-Day Clarity Reset is essentially the concentrated, actionable core of his broader philosophy. It makes it the absolute ideal first step if you're ready to stop being pushed around by the noise of the world.
To stop the overwhelm right now, make sure you download this completely free guide. Subscribe for more insights, and if you know a fellow builder who is feeling stuck, send this explainer their way. The sources emphasize that there are absolutely no strings attached to this tool. It exists simply to help you get clear and start building. It's a quick read, but I'm telling you, the impact of actually doing these daily exercises is immense.
So let me ask you, which day's practice will you commit to right now? The noise of the world isn't going to stop. So what is the one small step you will take today to refuse the chaos and start building? Think about the 7 days we just walked through. Will you clear your inputs today? Will you write your permission slip? Don't wait for the perfect conditions because they simply do not exist. Take that 1% shift right now. Keep building, and we'll see you in the next explainer.